Sure. Test one.
The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.
FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network. Good afternoon, everyone. With Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams, and we are at Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. And Murph, you know, this is something that has been building for weeks and months, and finally to get back to doing what everybody needs to do, which is playing football.
Yeah, it's about time. It's such a late start this year, too. I think the latest in FCIAC history, right? So finally ready to go, and it feels like a hot August day. And
it really does. Yeah, it really does. It feels like it's training camp time here. Temperatures hovering in the 80s all day. We've been out here since very early this morning for coffee break as well. And Chris Irway and I will have the play-by-play later on. Murph will be hanging out with us as well as Ridgefield and New Canaan meet at 7. But between now and then, we first have the Tailgate show, a couple of great guests from Ridgefield joining us here, and then in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll start ramping up on the football, getting you ready for the kickoff tonight at 7. Plenty of other stuff going on in the FCIAC today, Murph. A busy day schedule-wise. We saw good soccer yesterday. I thought in the end that turned out to be a really good game between Greenwich and Wilton at Cardinal Stadium.
You're right, a tale of two halves. The first half, all Greenwich. Nick Bartles showing why he's probably the best player in the FCIAC. 3 goals, 3 beautiful goals, and then Greenwich a little relaxed in the second half. Wilton came back and made it close, 3-2, and had some chances at the end there. He just couldn't get the equalizer.
All that being said, Greenwich also had a couple of shots to really put that game really out of reach. An early one that they missed a wide open net, and then a second one that they were pretty close in.
Right, yeah, two golden opportunities, and if Bartles was taking those, they would have been in the back of the net.
So, yep, there you go. A good start for Greenwich. They're off to now a 2-0-1 start, and Wilton falls to 1-1. And I certainly don't judge either team off this game.
No, it's still too early. You could tell Wilton out of sorts at the beginning. The second half much better with their movement and their passing. So, yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's early season's tough to tell. And Greenwich, now tomorrow they play Ridgefield. Ridgefield's lost their first 2 games, so they're almost in as much of a must-win as you could be in your 3rd game of the season.
That's exactly right. And boys soccer, just one game on the docket today as Trinity Catholic takes on New Canaan at 5 o'clock. What do you know about those teams?
Yeah, 2 teams that not considered to be in the mix for titles or anything. They have some good individual players, but I don't think we're talking about possible FCIAC champs in that one.
Not upper echelon. Maybe
No.
state playoff teams. Can they do that kind of thing?
Maybe, you only need 8 wins.
Right.
So I could see New Canaan getting there.
And, of course, the classic story on most sports, with the exception of football, 40% of your wins get you into the playoffs.
Right.
So you don't need to be a 500 team, which is something that many lament. I kind of shrug my shoulders at it. I don't know. I'm a little ambivalent on it.
Well, it's you're sort of being rewarded for failure. But
You are. 8-12 will get you into the playoffs. Plenty of girls soccer today. Big day in girls soccer. I know you as the sports editor, not only in Ridgefield but Wilton as well, with the Bulletin. And Greenwich playing Wilton today at Wilton. Greenwich unimpressive early on. How are the Warriors?
They won their first game 4-0, but against Bridgeport Central, so I'm not quite sure what kind of a test that was. They have a very young team, a new coach, and a lot of talent, but again, they lost 10 seniors, a lot of starters, so I think they'll be a team that gets better as the year goes on.
Other games going on, just getting underway. In fact, are Danbury at Central, Trumbull at Ward, McManus at West Hill, Stamford at Norwalk, Ridgefield is at Staples, Ludlow at St. Joe's, and Darien at New Canaan. Most of the time you hear Darien, New Canaan, you go, yes! How about Darien, New Canaan girls soccer?
I don't know. I think St. Joe's, we're talking St. Joe's and Ward, the 2 powers here, and St. Joe's absolutely loaded. I'd be surprised if they're going to get beat. I know Ward lost a lot of people. They're supposedly, good again, a very good goalie who's going to UConn, but that's St. Joe's team. I mean, from Tori Bike, and there are a lot of sophomores and freshmen, and that's some lineup.
Yeah, we saw girls soccer earlier this week, and as we saw New Canaan. New Canaan looked pretty good. They got a 2-0 win over over McMahon, and McMahon was feisty in that game. They hung around for a while, but you just sense that McMahon is still a program that has been taking baby steps to improve, and you give them credit because they are coming along. New Canaan just a better squad.
Right. And some of the lower echelon FCI teams have improved. I mean, you're not seeing the 7-0, 8-0 games you used to see, but they're still a little, a rung below.
3 field hockey games on the docket today. Darien at Greenwich, Ridgefield at McMahon. That's tonight at 7 o'clock, and New Canaan is at Norwalk at 7:30. Some night games in field hockey.
Right, yeah, that's great. A little extra exposure, and the girls love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it's Friday night lights no matter where you go, and that includes right here in Ridgefield. Girls volleyball, you've got New Canaan and West Hill, Trinity Catholic at Wilton, Norwalk and out of conference against Bunnell. McMahon is at Weston, and Woodstock Academy at Ward, again, another out of conference matchup.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, FCIAC girls volleyball, you start and ends usually with Darien, so the question is, can anyone knock them off? Last year they lost one.
That's
one
right.
set
That's
to
right.
Ridgefield.
Thing we learned in our FCIAC caravan as we moved around the tour throughout the FCIAC, all the volleyball teams we talked to, they all gave us the same answer. What are your plans? Beat Darien. That's our goal for the year.
There's one thing between planning and there's another doing.
That's it. The last topic of the sports schedule for today is girls swimming and diving. Boy, a pool sounds really nice right about now. St. Joe's is at Greenwich, where they have a legendary pool. Of course, all the championships there. And West Hill Stanford at Trumbull. So, it's a Friday, and as much as we get into Friday night lights and Friday football, there are plenty of other games going on around this conference and around the state as well.
Right, and there's a football game kicking off right now, right?
That is true, and we can turn our attention to football. This finally, as we mentioned at the top, the opening of the FCIAC football schedule. One game last week as Bridgeport Central fell to West Hill 27-6, but other than that, finally we are getting into the bulk of the schedule, and everybody seems to play tonight. Greenwich is at Trinity Catholic, that game getting underway right now, and again, you talk about finally, John Marinelli with the opening kickoff of a season in which the Cardinals making a change. Rich Albanizio out after close to 20 years. He was very much, the heart and soul of that program, taking over for Mike Ornato. 2 coaches in that football program dating all the way back to 1972. I mean, that's a long time between making coaching changes. And you think of the names that went through just those 2 coaches alone. Steve Young and his brothers, John Sullivan, of course, and some others that made, marks in Division I, but Sullivan right now, of course, in the NFL with the Vikings.
Right, that should be a great game. I mean, Trinity, highly regarded this year, so I think it'll be a good test for Mr. Marinelli right off the bat.
I agree. The Cardinal offense is going to be very high octane. I think the defense has always been a hallmark of Greenwich football, but I want to see what Donnie Panapata and his staff for Trinity Catholic have to throw at the Cardinals as well. Anthony Lombardi, their fine quarterback, will be certainly somebody to stop there, but also it's that assistant coaching staff that really has my brain on that game, because not only do you have Donnie Panapata, but Donnie Panapata was an assistant for Rich Albanizio, who is now, of course, his assistant. Donnie Panapata, the head coach, Rich Albanizio, and Carl Cairo are the two of the assistants for Panapata, and those are 2 guys that led the Cardinals to 3 state championships and way too many FCIAC championships for my brain to compute.
The plot and the bloodlines thicken.
And you know what? I don't know too many sports that carry the bloodlines like football does. Just too many names. You covering Ridgefield, and you're a Ridgefield guy yourself, Ridgefield and Wilton all these years. You've seen a lot of brothers come through, a lot of relatives come through. I mean, that's just the bloodlines run very thick.
Right. And Joe Arceri making his debut tonight as coach, grew up in Ridgefield, played on the last Ridgefield State Championship team, 2002. He's been an assistant coach, now interim coach this year. So, he spoke to that tradition, and he's gives him a lot of pride. It makes him want to do a good job, and I think it's it's good you can relate to the kids. Then I played here, we were able to win a state title, so
that's right.
It's a good role model.
You bring up Joe Arceri, and of course, we're not ambush guys at all, but I do feel like I've got to at least spend a moment. Kevin Callahan's taking the year off, got himself in some situations off the field this season, and look, nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody likes to deal with it. These are high school kids. These are high school coaches. Coach Callahan will be certainly missed to a certain extent here tonight and throughout the season, and for Ridgefield, I know a situation they'd rather just have put aside for a year.
Right, yeah. I think, it's handled well. He's taking a year off, and he's still teaching at Ridgefield High, so I know he'll hopefully be back next year. That's the plan right now.
Right.
So
and whether or not we see him actually come out here and watch games. I mean, it's got to be tough. No matter what, whether you're taking a year off or you are, you've resigned or whatever, when you step away from that team, like Bo Hickey in New Canaan, Bo Hickey was the hockey coach forever. He was a football coach forever. Yet, I didn't think we'd ever see him at a game. I see him all the time.
Yeah. No, it's hard to keep away.
It's really part of your bloodline for sure. So it really is. It's an exciting day for us, and this, really gets our relationship with the FCIAC off and running. Yes, the 2 soccer games earlier in the week, but, football is very much front and center when the FCIAC is being talked about.
Right. And we'll get some scores as the night goes on and relay them to you.
We certainly will keep an eye on that Greenwich Trinity Catholic game. Josh Fisher's keeping an eye on the scores for us. Eric Gendron directing, an entire crew here. Too many people for me to mention, but all great people on hand. Kate Chaplinsky's going to jump in and help us out with some of the interviews as well. So that's the lineup as we move throughout this tailgate show. And then in the second hour, we will get around to really getting into the kind of nuts and bolts of this high school football game here tonight, Murph.
Any other football games that catch your eye for tonight?
It was tough. For me, I didn't see a whole lot on the docket that really jumped out at me to pick, and by and large, a lot of the decision-making on the games that we covered kind of came down to me, of course, with help from you and Eric and all of our great editors, Rocco and JB and all the other guys, Mike and Bill and, Steve. And Dave, of course, who will be here later on. All that being said, I kind of wrestled with what game to do tonight. Ridgefield's been great to us over the years, but that Greenwich Trinity Catholic game kept calling me as well. Not because of any Greenwich connection, but that idea of John Marinelli, the son of the legend Lou Marinelli, who will be right across the field here tonight. There's that image right there. And there's Rich Albanese, Carl Pat on the other side for Trinity. I was very fascinated by that game, and I think the Crusaders could have a really big year.
Yeah, I do too. And I think tonight hopefully we'll have a good one. I mean, Ridgefield coming off a struggling season, and New Canaan, of course, we all know, 2-time defending state champs. So it should be an interesting test right away for Ridgefield and their new coach.
I'll tell you a couple of other games that jump out at me, and I know we have to get ready to take a break pretty shortly, but Darien and Stanford fascinates me only because it's opening night. Stanford had a big year last year. They've got a bunch of players coming back. The problem is Darien is so loaded. Right. As we were getting ready, A.J. Simonowski and I were setting up on the FCIAC tour, and every time a player would walk us alongside any of us or Eric Gendron, the three of us would look at each other and go, he's back? Wait, he's back? So, Timmy Graham, Hudson Hamill, the Trafone brothers, all these guys coming back, and I'm standing with them at our caravan, and I'm looking at them going, didn't I just see you guys in Stanford last year for the FCIAC Championship? So, Darien looks loaded, but Jamar Green and the job he's done at Stanford, I'd love to see that be a game tonight.
About Darien, they've got the one-man reign of terror on defense, Mark Evanchik.
They do, who will likely set the state record for sacks this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's how many can he get more this year? So you need 2 or 3 guys to block
him. He really is a one-man wrecking crew. I'll tell you another game that didn't initially jump at me as the schedule came out, but the idea of Ludlow and Trumbull. I don't know what Ludlow is, and so that X factor kind of makes me look at this game and go, well, Trumbull might not be. Trumbull's often up, down, kind of riding a merry-go-round. I want to see what Ludlow has to bring at them tonight.
Right. And, they've been almost 500 program. They've lost some guys. Trumbull is always interesting because they're a good football town, a great program. You just keep waiting for the year where they finally get back into that mix among the top FCIAC teams.
I'll tell you one other game that fascinates me. New Canaan and Ridgefield. It'll be here at 7 o'clock tonight here at Tiger Hollow. It's going to be a good one, and a game, again, figuring some things out. New Canaan, the defending state champion. Cass Knox out for the year. Jackson Turek out for the year for Ridgefield, or at least theoretically out for the year on both sides. So I want to get a sense for these two teams. Yes, I know New Canaan comes in, defending state champs, on fire, and we'll talk much more about that obviously in the next hour, and then as we get a little further along. So I think it's a game that could be intriguing if Ridgefield can hold up their end of the bargain.
Right, and they're going to have to put some pressure on Michael Collins, the All-State quarterback. A big advantage there for New Canaan with having Collins, an experienced All-State player back. Ridgefield, the first-year starter, Drew Fowler taking over a junior. First game against New Canaan. It's a tall order.
Certainly is. We've got a tall order because we've got some great interviews lined up, including Carl Charles, the athletic director here. We'll also speak with the principal here at Ridgefield High School, and I believe the superintendent will join us as well, Murph.
They're on their way.
All right, great stuff. With all that said, why don't we grab a break, give us a chance to talk a little more when we come back. We'll continue on your FCIAC Tailgate right here on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Packing all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Remind you of last time you went to our dealership?
This is behind the sports program and really been great at developing this. This has primarily been done through private money, and that's something to speak of, and that speaks to the community support for our program.
Talking about the participation rates, Ridgefield, obviously a big sports town. How many percentage of the students play sports?
Well, approximately 1,800 students in the high school, and over 51% of them play at least one sport. So we're really proud of that. That's a lot of kids. We average about somewhere in the fall between 500 to 600 kids playing a sport. As we go through the year, we've had probably the last 2 school years, we've had record numbers of participation in our athletic program. We've cracked well over 1,050 unique athletes with playing at least one sport, so that's really good.
How do you keep it all straight? You've got this, you've got the gym, you've got the track, you've got so much to keep track of. How do you do it?
It's not easy. You got to really be a multitasker. I've got very good support staff. My secretarial staff is excellent. They do a lot of the fine details during the day, buses, officials, and that frees me up to, handle the scheduling and handle all the big capital projects that you got your eye on. And you just got to be really highly organized. And I always try as an athletic director to stay. Definitely, I'm always one season ahead, so we're in the fall, but I'm working on the winter, and actually I'm working on the spring season.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Now, some coaches have said that a good football season at the beginning of the year can really get the school pumped up, set a tone. Do you think that's the case?
Absolutely. I think, football is a flagship program in most high schools, and when they're off to a great start, it just gets everybody energized in the community. It gets the school spirit to an all-time high, and next thing you know, they're coming out for every team, and the soccer games have good attendance, and so hopefully we can get off to a good start tonight. They got a big challenge. I think we're going to have a great crowd tonight. Our students, the one thing about our students is they, as you know, you guys have been here, they are really supportive of the sports program. And I'm sure they're going to be out in force tonight and loud, and hopefully it'll be a great game, and it'll be something that the crowd can really get into.
There's no question the Tigers Lair is one of the best student cheering sections in the entire FCIAC Murph. They bring it night after night.
No, they got the passion, especially in that basketball game.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So it'll be a good atmosphere here tonight, and you get great parent support as well. You must.
Absolutely. We have tremendous parent support. I know I coached the hoop team for 5 years. The gym was sold out almost every night. The student section, the parent section, people from the community, and just to build facilities like this. And we have our Tiger Hollow charity, our youth sports programs, everybody coming together, contributing financially to better the facilities for the youth of Ridgefield. So, we primarily use these till 6 o'clock on a daily basis, except for game night. And then the youth programs are out here, 6 to 9:30 p.m. at night. So this facility is heavily used, both fields. And it's been great for our town.
Do you miss coaching basketball?
Absolutely. I really do. I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm very fortunate. The 2 assistant coaches that I worked with in my 5 years were phenomenal. And I think one of my charges was to groom people to take over. And I'm really proud of Andrew. He's done a great job with the boys program. And my first assistant in the boys program was Tom DeMarzo. And Tom is now the head girls coach. So it's nice when you look back and you see 2 of your disciples out there, and they're doing a wonderful job.
FCIAC champion coach, Tom DeMarzo.
That's right. A game that you heard right here, in fact. How about the consistency of coaching here? You get such good coaches and you keep them. What's that attributed to?
I think there's just a lot of factors. I think we try to, I think first of all we have decent salaries. We're very competitive now with anybody in the FCIAC. When I first came here 10 years ago, salaries were a problem. And commuting to Ridgefield is a problem. So now I think the quality of the sports program has improved. The facilities are here. You've got all the intangibles. I think we give the coaches very good support. We work hard to give them a great practice game situation, and if they need help with anything, we're there for them. And we try to build a strong relationship. And honestly, I see my role whenever there's a vacancy. I try to go out and really recruit and find the best possible coach I can get for that scenario. And our goals in AD, you want to have a great coach in every program. And when you do that, I think a lot of problems take care of themselves.
Yeah, I think sometimes some athletic directors just put out a posting and see who shows up. I feel like you've, as from talking to you, you've gone out and you've targeted people. You want this person, that person.
Absolutely. I'll never forget a couple of years ago. I probably interviewed 20 to 21 people for a girls' soccer job, and I was getting near the end. I was saying, "Geez, I haven't found it," and finally, it was like just out of the clear blue, this guy emails me and says, "Hey, I got someone you take a look at." It was like the 22nd interview. I'm like 2 months away from starting the season, and Alex walked in the door, and I could tell right off the bat he was a winner, and he's been great for us. We had a great season last year. I think he's got the program well in hand, and that's what you have to kind of be patient. You might have pushed the panic button and hired a little too early. I waited it out. And most of the time, I've been very fortunate. So it doesn't always work that way, but most of the time it does.
How about the balance with girls' sports as well? I mean, Ridgefield is great girls' athletics.
Yeah, they really are. The nice thing is our female teams do so well. I know we're looking for big things this fall from field hockey, girls soccer, girls swimming is very strong. The volleyball team is strong. Our cheerleading team is great. Our dance team. So, right across the board, I think that's the thing that you look at is we're good in just about everything, and we're competitive. We may not win the FCIAC championship in every sport, but we're competitive. We're going to be there. The cross country, our running programs are absolutely phenomenal, and we crank out one great team after another. The boys, 2-time consecutive state championship in outdoor track. So, and the girls have had their taste of success, and And I'm sure, Tim, you get our highlights that we send to you at the end of every season. You see how many kids are All-State and All-American and things like that. So we're really proud. The athletes are very committed here. It's a great place to be for a coach.
Yeah, it's got to be tough to have across the board good programs in so many sports.
It is. It's challenging, but I think that speaks to the quality of the coaches that we have. They're really very good people. They're motivated. They're passionate. They inspire the kids, and they can bring the best out of them. And every year you graduate people, but these guys seem to come back and they can put it together again. And we're extremely competitive again. We very seldomly go from a successful season to a real drop-off season,
Another young man I want to highlight is the young man that was here helping us set up both yesterday and today. And again, talk about bringing it back home. A young man who was telling me he was an athlete here just a few years ago.
Well, it's funny because Travis Tiger you're referring to was a wrestler, lacrosse player here. And, I see him working in our school district. And I said, I got to talk to him, see if I contacted his father, and the next thing you know, I've got him as my stadium manager. I got him as our head wrestling coach, which we'll officially announce right here on your show. He's going to be our new wrestling coach at Ridgefield High School, and he's going to coach the JV lacrosse team. So we're so excited to have a student athlete that was a really good student athlete, very well respected, come back and become part of our coaching staff and become part of our staff here. That really helps us tremendously.
Travis couldn't have been any better to us for sure.
Nice, and his dad's nice too.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it's great stuff. And when do you finally get to relax? After the game is over?
On the car ride home about 10 o'clock, I'll really.
When do you actually get to watch the game?
June 22nd.
Oh man, I tell you, you don't want to know the answer to that question. Some nights, it all depends on what's happening. First game of the year, I usually am up helping out in the front with the student gate, and I'll get down by halftime for sure. I put another one of my assistants down on the field to kind of manage the game, so if the coaches or the officials have any issues, they know that he's acting in my place. And that's the part I miss, because you're running a big event, and when you see the crowds that we get and the people that come here, you've got to have your site well managed. And we've got people that are handicapped that sometimes need help getting to the other side of the field.
Right.
So I try to have some of our students with golf carts, ready to shuttle them over if need be. And you just have to do whatever it takes to make the event run smoothly. And keep your fingers crossed that you never have the lights go out on you.
I've been in some buildings when that has happened. I'm sure you have too, Murph.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It is certainly a lot of work and ready to go.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward tonight. We talked to our team yesterday, and I think they're very excited. They're really looking forward to tonight's game. They know it's a challenge, but last year was an off year for us. We're a very, very good football program, and if you look at our history over the past 10 years, that was an off year. We graduated a lot of kids, and every year we're in the thick of things. Just the year before that, we were playing Southington in the semifinals there. So hopefully it'll all come back together tonight.
And Joe Arceri won't be fired if he loses tonight.
Joe, absolutely not. Joe's a class act, and he's done a great job for us. I really love his demeanor and his approach to the game, and he's been great with the kids. And I could sense that just talking to the boys yesterday. You could see the respect that the kids have for him, and he's going to do fine.
Carl, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Looking forward to a big night here.
Thanks, Carl.
Guys, thank you very much. Good luck to you, too.
All right. Carl Charles, the athletic director here at Ridgefield High School. Tim Murphy, sports editor of the Ridgefield Press, and we'll take a break here on your FCIAC Tailgate, getting ready for FCIAC Gameday at 5 o'clock. Kate Chaplinsky's going to jump in as well. A couple more interviews before we finish up this hour, Murph.
It sounds good. We got the principal and the superintendent.
Pretty exciting stuff. We'll continue right after this with FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, Fishermen, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
And we're back here at Ridgefield High School, Tiger Hollow Stadium. I'm Kate Chaplinsky, stepping in for Rob Adams and Tim Murphy for a bit. And I'm joined right now by Ridgefield High School Principal Stacy Gross. Stacy, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome to Ridgefield High School. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thanks. You know, you were a stop on our HAN Cruiser Tour, and you hopped on the cruiser, but we didn't get a chance to talk, so we dragged you out here now for our FCIAC Tailgate. And really, there's nothing more exciting this time of year than Friday night football games at the high school. It's a community event.
It absolutely is, and I love talking about Ridgefield High School, so I'll always do that with you. The football games, as are all of our sports events, are really community events here. You're going to see lots of families here tonight, all different ages of kids and generations, as well as school staff and kids. It's really a great time and a fun time to bond together.
And other than football, what other athletic teams? I mean, you must be excited about everybody. But, I mean, any highlights? Do you try to make it out to as many games as possible?
I actually do. I definitely hit a lot of practices if I'm here in the afternoon working. I try to hit at least one event of every team that runs. I don't always make it, but I try to hit everyone. And anybody that makes it to states, I go to states with them. So.
And now, Stacy, this is your 4th year here at Ridgefield High School. I believe you were in Greenwich before that. What have you learned in that time about this community?
I've learned I'm so lucky to be in this community. I was in Greenwich for 20 years. It was a great experience, and I learned and grew so much there. But I was ready to be back in a high school setting, and Ridgefield High School welcomed me with open arms, and it was the best decision I ever made. It's a really academically focused place, but also it's so focused on the whole child, which is my philosophy and my belief also. So we pay so much attention to athletics and clubs and theater and art because we really want kids to feel fulfilled and learn and grow in so many different ways.
And let's talk about that a little bit. What other clubs and student activities that are coming up are you really excited about in this fall season?
Right. I'm excited about everything that happens here. We just had our club fair where all the clubs present and kids can sign up. We're in the process of having students propose new clubs. Any clubs we have here are generated by students, and new ones come in every year based on students' interest. We have Spirit Week coming up, which is big here in the school and involves all of our students, and we're very proud of. All of the sports teams are playing at this time. We have girls volleyball, boys and girls soccer, field hockey. I know I'm going to leave somebody out, track. So there's so much happening. And our theater group is getting started up. I know they're practicing for the first drama. We have announced our musical for this year, which is The Wizard of Oz. So there's lots of buzz about that happening.
That's exciting. And, you know, as you said, this really is a community event. So it's kind of a chance for you guys to show off your student body, the band, the cheerleaders, the football players. I mean, it's really kind of welcoming people in. They don't always get to have that front row seat, right?
Absolutely. I love showing off the school because there's so many great things. And just when we were talking about community, I want to recognize the parents. They are so supportive of the school in so many ways, coming to events, supporting events, being behind the scenes, volunteering. We really couldn't do it without them.
And, you know, we're very close by to the new cell tower. And I know for many years that it's been a big discussion. And it must be exciting that next month that new cell tower is going to be lit up because, you know, it's always good to have a better form of communication. And I know the high school always had, you know, a system in place, but that must be exciting at least that you guys are going to have that extra coverage.
It is really exciting because we, of course, had workarounds, but for safety reasons, I want to be able to reach someone if I have to in case there's an emergency. But I will admit, I've kind of gotten a little spoiled that people can't always reach me all day and I can actually focus on the school. So that'll be changing again.
That's true. Well, Stacy, you know, in the last 4 years that you've been here, what are some of the things you've kind of been able to implement that you're really excited about or proud of?
Oh, there's a lot. A lot of what I've implemented really comes from the kids. I'm very student-centered. So we were just about to start the open campus program when I started, and having been working in an open campus school before, I was able to help make that more organized for them. I know there was a lot of concern, you know, for student safety about it, and the seniors every year have done such an incredible job with it. I'm so proud of them, and they do deserve that. We have extended library hours based on student requests. As I said, we've added clubs and we've added club sports. So now when kids want to start a new sport, we have a formal process for them to introduce it and work up to it with the Board of Ed and see if we can get it added on. We've added so many new courses over the year at all levels, so more exposure for kids in the academics, in the content areas, in the arts, robotics. So we've added and changed a lot, and I'm really proud of it, but it's really been inspired by the students.
That sounds like a big job. And, you know, last thing I want to ask you, do you have a message tonight for the team as they go out there to play New Canaan?
Well, of course, I wish them the best of luck. I love being here with any of the teams. I know they had a rough season last year, and I've been seeing them on the Han Network and in the newspaper, and I'm so proud of what I'm hearing them say. I think Coach Arceri has done a great job, and they've really grown up a lot in the way they're looking at last year and planning for this year. So I want them to win tonight, but regardless of what happens tonight, we have a full season ahead of us, and I'm so proud of the way they're facing the season and their new challenges.
Well, Stacy, thanks for having us here. I mean, it's a beautiful place to be. We haven't been upset being out here in the gorgeous weather all day.
Well, you're always welcome. We love having you.
All right. Principal Stacy Gross here live at Tiger Hollow Stadium. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with a lot more after this.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your original 3-minute horror movie today. Visit fastfrights.com for more details.
Kickoff Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Kickoff's stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Kickoff Rockefeller Estate, a National Trust for Historic Preservation landmark.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
All right, we are back with your FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Chaplensky, and right now I am joined by the Superintendent of Ridgefield Schools, Dr. Karen Baldwin. It is her first year on the job here in Ridgefield. Dr. Baldwin, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
And thank you for hosting us here at Tiger Hollow Stadium. It's a beautiful spot to be. We've been enjoying it so far.
Yes, and I'm enjoying it as well. It's a great Friday afternoon to be out.
And tell us a little bit about your background before you came to Ridgefield.
Most recently, I was superintendent of schools in Suffield, which is the northern part of Hartford County near Bradley International Airport. Much smaller district, rural, suburban, with just under 3,000 students, and was there for 4 years, doing a lot of work related to improving learning outcomes, especially for children with special needs. So a lot of good work done there. And prior to that, I was in Watertown, which is in the Litchfield County area, and I think some notable work there in building infrastructure, $84 million worth of school construction projects. But both districts, similar to Ridgefield, had strong athletic programs. Suffield had great soccer programs and a developing football program. And Watertown also had great baseball and developing football programs. So it's exciting to be back in the world of interscholastic athletics and in Fairfield County specifically.
Right. And this really is like a big kickoff to the fall season. A lot of the community comes out. So are you excited to kind of hang out and see everyone?
Yes, I think a big part of being a superintendent of schools is serving the community and trying to be a part of that community and connect to it. And certainly seeing young people work hard and persevere and give it their all and be a part of a larger commitment to a team is exciting. And to see their families come out and the entire community supporting them and the good work of our coaching staff, it really is representative of an entire community effort.
And in the months that you've been here in Ridgefield, I mean, what have you learned so far?
It's a wonderful community, smart, talented, engaged stakeholders. I've met with a lot of parents, and I'm impressed with sort of their knowledge of the school system, their aspirations for taking a high-performing system and bringing it to another level, that there is a desire for better. That impresses me. It would be easy to rest on our laurels, I think. We have great kids. I've been impressed with that. Getting to be in the classrooms over these past 3 weeks across the K-12 system. Our kids are polite, engaged, eager, I think respectful of one another. So I've really enjoyed my opportunities to get to know them a little bit, and I'm hopeful to do more of that over the course of the school year and my future here. I think our municipal leaders are invested in the well-being of young people as well, and that there's a lot of great agencies in place to support the health and well-being of young people. So now it's an opportunity for the school system to really leverage all of that and bring outcomes to the next level.
And I know it's early on in the school year, but any goals or plans that you're excited about for this first year?
Well, I think the first year should always really be about learning. I don't want to come in and make significant change. I think listening and learning is really a goal. And to that end, we have some opportunities in terms of improving communication, how the district communicates the good work of the school system, how the school district engages in dialogue with parents around what we want for our kids. I think those are areas for improvement or goals. I think also taking a look at programming for children with disabilities and how do we meet their needs across a continuum of learning. I think we need to better understand that. So those would be two sort of initial goal areas that I think will take multiple years to improve upon, but certainly will lay the foundation this year, as well as taking a look at school climate and culture and how do we better build on teacher leadership and getting teachers involved in shaping the direction of better. And while doing all of that, making sure that children are safe and engaged in learning.
And you are getting out there in the community already. I know there's a meet and greet planned soon. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, that's sponsored by the Ridgefield Education Foundation, which is another one of those great community partners that is present here in Ridgefield. And so that's next Friday night, the 25th, from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Aldrich Museum, which is right in town. It's a family-friendly activity. We want children and parents to come. And it's just an opportunity for me to get a little more connected. And the Aldrich is a wonderful museum and really engaged in meaningful work, not only with the school system and helping us with professional learning of our staff and opportunities for kids, but also with the larger community. So it's a great venue, and I think a great opportunity for the town to showcase some of its wonderful resources as well.
And I asked Principal Gross the same thing, but do you have a message tonight for the Ridgefield football team before they get out there on the field?
Work hard and go get them Tigers.
All right, Dr. Karen Baldwin, Superintendent of Ridgefield Schools. We're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with more Tailgate after this.
Better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your original 3-minute horror movie today. Visit fastfrights.com for more details.
Remind you of the last time you went into a car dealership? Experience stress-free waters at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and find out how easy buying a car really is.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332 and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Back here at Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow, home of the Ridgefield Tigers, and the Tigers will take the field in about 2 hours as we get ready for football right here on the HAN Network. The New Canaan Rams also coming to town. Tim Murphy, Kate Chaplinsky rejoin me. I'm Rob Adams. Kate, first for you, quick as we kind of banter for a moment here to close out Tailgate. You know, you've been very open in not being a sports person per se. But what are you looking forward to watching tonight?
I may not be like such a sports person, but I love Friday night high school football. I love the sounds of it. I love the smells of it. I love that all the community comes out. I think that's the coolest thing. I love watching the student sections. And I mean, you know, where I live in Stratford, you could hear, you know, the announcements go on. And like this time of year, like there's nothing better than that.
Yeah,
you know?
Same with me. I can hear it through the air from Mayapack High School, so I know the drill.
Hear the band.
And Murph, there's something special about opening night.
Oh, it's amazing! Yeah, great weather, and the weather's so nice at this time of year, and there's always excitement in the school. The players wear their jersey, and everybody's pumped up. And I want to hear Kate, she's going to break this game down, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing that.
Murph and I will be
we
leaving
won't
now.
do that
to people.
But it's true on opening night, and you know, we already did 2 football games, but there's something about this tonight where the emotions will kind of drum up, and there's a little bit of nerves right before that light goes on, and as the music swells up, and it's like, oh God, are we really going to do this again? But it's so exciting and it's so much fun, and you know Ridgefield, Kate, it's such a great town.
Ridgefield's really a great community. I was a press reporter for a few years, and there's really nothing like this town. I mean, other than the gorgeous Main Street right now, we're in Ridgeberry, which is beautiful, and I'm excited excited that they're going to be lighting up this cell tower, which is to our left right now, because for years the story has always been, and Murph, you know this, the story's always been no cell service at Tiger Hollow. They were always worried about emergencies, even though, there were protocols in place, but it's always been a topic, like, for how many years? Like,
forever, since cell phones have been around. And it's frustrating because you come here one night and go to a game and you get service, and you come back and stand in that exact same spot next week, and it's nothing. So if we get a shot of that cell tower over
we need
there.
Marty's, we need Uncle Droney
We
to
need Uncle
fly around
Droney.
it.
Absolutely right. By the way, a couple of HAN things I want to make sure we mention. Spend just a moment on Fast Frights, because that's coming up. And for folks coming out here tonight, got to get here early enough, but there are some T-shirts hanging around.
Right. We have some of our HAN events team here tonight, and they're going to be giving out free HAN Network T-shirts and, kind of promoting this Fast Frights contest that we're running, which is really cool. We've been running some promos on our commercial breaks, and we really want people's short horror films. They can find out all the contest rules at fastfrights.com, and they could win a drone. They could win an Uncle Droney.
You can have an Aunt Droney if you want. Cousin Droney.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
And we've got some people in this company that know a thing or two about horror, so we'll be all over that.
Definitely.
And looking forward to seeing those films. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and if you come out tonight, try to grab a free T-shirt while they're still here.
That's right. There are a bunch of them. They are a nice light gray over to our left, and one of us on this crew may be wearing one right now. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's just been a lot of fun, and we're getting all set now to break into real football mode, Murph. Time to really start breaking these games down and get ready for the big event at 7. One game already going on. Last I knew, Greenwich had a 6-0 lead on Trinity Catholic. Two field goals in that one.
Right. Going back to Fast Frights for a minute, the viewing party's in Ridgefield, right?
Yes, the viewing party is going to be at 8:50 in Ridgefield. It's going to be a blast. So like we said, please, we want students, we want grown-ups, everyone to submit their horror movies. Come on, there's so many people out there now that love to make, short films. Submit it, send us something fun. It's going to be a blast.
with YouTube being such a thing and everybody's got a camera, there's no reason to not give it a shot. So all entries will be welcome. By the way, Dave Stewart will be joining us in a moment as we get into FCIAC Game Day. Chris Irway is on his way here as well. He'll be with me for the call later tonight. Murph is sticking around, so whole crew on site here, and it is going to be just one good time, and I'm hoping for some really good football, but I'm not going to talk too much about it just now, Murph. Okay. We'll get into it a little more in depth coming up.
Make them wait. We'll save it till the next hour.
That is what we call a tease in the trade. Kate, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Exciting stuff here as we get ready for high school football in a day that we have been here a long time already. So we are just about set to go for the 2015 high school football season. It's building up a little more for the FCIAC to kick off. Ridgefield, New Canaan. But first, FCIAC Game Day starts now. And we welcome you to Ridgefield High School's Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. Finally, as we've said about 100 times, and we'll say it 100 times more, the 2015 FCIAC football season gets ready to start. Welcome to FCIAC Game Day with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams. Happy to have you along. Dave, of course, sports editor, New Canaan advertiser, FCIAC.net. And finally, we had one game last Saturday. Yes, we saw West Hill take care of Bridgeport Central. But tonight, it's like the buffet has opened up, Dave.
This is everybody. This is opening day for almost every team in the FCIAC, and you couldn't have a more beautiful night than this. This is going to be great here tonight. Ridgefield and New Canaan, pretty good rivalry, almost like a second-tier rivalry, but they've had some good games over the years, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
Every game that I do, virtually every game I broadcast, I do a sheet. There's sheet number 1 for the FCIAC season. Right now, it is mighty empty, but it's looking for a lot of scoring on it. We'll get into this game a little more in depth as we go along, but we've got a full FCIAC slate of games. What can you tell me first and foremost, flashing back to last Saturday with Bridgeport Central falling to West Hill?
Well, West Hill got off to a good start with this. They've got flashy new uniforms too, from what I've seen. But it's a great start for them. They haven't really been able to build any momentum over the years. They had a good season last year. I wouldn't say it was a great season by any means, but hey, a positive start's a positive start. You got to be happy with a win.
Absolutely true. Now, one game already going on right now is Trinity Catholic and the Greenwich Cardinals. Of course, John Marinelli, the new head coach at Greenwich, Rich Albanese stepping away after a long time running the Cardinals. So it's a new day for Greenwich. Right now, Donnie Panipata and the Trinity Catholic Crusaders are very much hanging with the Cardinals.
Definitely. It's a lot of scoring right off the bat. It's 21-14. And I guess it was 13-0 Greenwich. Greenwich jumped out, looked like they were going to run away with it. And then Trinity came back, took a 14-13 lead. And Anthony Ferraro, 85-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. They went for 2, which Johnny Marinelli loves to do.
Yes, he does.
And they got the 2 points, so it's 21-14 now. But that seems like it's anybody's game right now.
I would agree with that. And Anthony Ferraro's got some wonderful speed, so he is definitely a factor for that Cardinal football team that has gone through some changes. But I think the whole is better than the sum of the parts, for lack of a better word, because I feel like last year it was so focused for Greenwich on Austin Longy. Now there are so many different pieces that can threaten with this Cardinal team. This Cardinal team has grown up again.
Yeah, and they've got energized by a new coach, and Johnny's going to get them fired up every week, and it'll be interesting to see what I always felt like with new coaches that you really don't really see what their impact is until year 3. That being said, I think Johnny can have an impact right away. Have a little bit of movement there and see what they can do if they can step up this year. The third year, I always feel like a new coach though is the year where you've been working with the kids for a while. The kids that are seniors now have been with you for a few years and they know your system, they know your program. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens the next couple of years.
I really think the Cardinals are going to have a big year. I don't know why. Maybe it's the John Marinelli factor. They had a great year with Rich Albanese last year. They did just fine, but they also put up a stinker on Thanksgiving Day against Staples. And Staples, in some ways, was returning a favor because the previous year, Staples was on the fringe of going to the state playoffs. And Greenwich went in and walloped Staples in a pretty surprising football game up at Staples Field. Last year, they returned the favor, come down to Cardinal Stadium, and they really put it to the Cardinals on Thanksgiving Day. Of course, the changes all were made, and now you've got the 2 Marinellis coaching. They're so tired of hearing, well, Lou seems okay with it, but I think the Cardinal players and the New Canaan players are fairly sick of hearing about it. But I think this Cardinal team is right there in the thick of Darien, New Canaan, Staples, Greenwich. Now, the FCIAC critic is going to stand on the fringe and go, oh, here we go, the same 4 all over again. Is there somebody else that's going to hang around?
I haven't really heard too much about anybody else. Those are the names. Darien and New Canaan have been by far the 2 that are most mentioned, which would set up another FCIAC final on Thanksgiving Day, which would mean everybody gets 9 games, but that's another story. Greenwich. I think you're absolutely correct though when you say you look at Greenwich's year last year. They started out 0-3. Came back, I believe they won 7 in a row at one point, and then lost that last game. They had a shot to get into states. When you look at their schedule at the beginning of the year last year, the teams they were playing, that's a tough schedule for anybody to handle. I don't care who you are and how good you are. You can easily go 0-3 in those 3 games. And the fact that those kids were able to hold it together and come back and and do some damage the rest of the way and actually give themselves a shot at the states. I think that really said a lot about their medal and about Rich Albanese too.
Yeah, if my memory serves, I know they opened up against West Haven up at Ken Strong, lost a tough one there, did Greenwich, and then they lost to Darien and New Canaan, I believe, back to back.
And New Canaan without Longy in there, that he was hurt that day.
That's right. That was the day of the Zach Allen, Jimmy Graham interception.
That was it. That was homecoming for New Canaan, right. And now Greenwich is going to look to return the favor on their homecoming when they host New Canaan.
That is exactly right. Some other games going on today at 6:30. It'll be Darien and Stamford at Boyle Stadium. And I'll tell you what, as Murph and I were talking about this game about an hour ago, my thinking was Jamar Green has done such a good job with this Stamford football team. Now, are they Darien good? I'm not trying to say that. But in game 1, maybe you can pull a surprise. Maybe something fun happens there. I know Darien is strong. I expect Darien to be right at the top of the heap. but I want to see if Stanford can give them a game.
That is a really tough game to open with. Obviously, you're opening against the defending FCIAC champions. That being said, I think you're absolutely correct in saying that you don't know what everybody has. This isn't really the NFL. This is high school football, and you don't know who's going to step up, who was behind somebody last year, who might be a superstar this year, and who would have thought Stanford was going to contend the way they did last year? And you know what? They could really make a statement now. Not even with a win against Darien, but with just a good game if they stay competitive with them. And you got to figure Darien is definitely got the edge in that game. But it'll be interesting. It'll be a nice one for Stanford to show some stuff.
I'll tell you what, if I had a chance to go back and look it all over again, and I wouldn't pass up this game. I'm happy we're here, but that would have been an interesting game to go check out.
Which one?
The Stanford game with Darien.
Oh yes, yeah, that definitely. That would have been a good one today.
And of course, everyone knows how much I love being at Boyle Stadium, so that's a whole different story.
And Darien too. For Darien, they're starting at Boyle Stadium. Maybe they're thinking we can end up at Boyle Stadium at the end of the year.
That is very true. Of course, still looking at the FCIAC championship game being there. Norwalk and Ward at 7 o'clock tonight. Mm-hmm. Two teams. I don't know how to figure them out. Either one.
They're always ones that are in the middle of the pack somewhere. They're never at the bottom. They're never at the top, unfortunately. But Norwalk, I've heard some good things about. I don't know much about them, but we'll see. These high school seasons take on a life of their own. If you get a couple of wins under your belt, you can really do some damage. If you lose a couple of games, you may be on a slide now. So, that's one of those things. Like I said, high school football. You never know.
Never know. Danbury and Staples also tonight. That's down at Staples Field. Shout out to our buddies from WWPT and their broadcast crew. But Staples coming off a very un-Staples-like year. They still, I believe, won 8 games, if I recall, but did not look sharp. We saw them against New Canaan. I think they lost 34-5 and did not look sharp that night. And I know from Mars Petrosio, he did not think it was his best group. He didn't come out and say that to me, but you knew it wasn't vintage Staples. Danbury, a fascinating group in that Mark Ecke, their wonderful head coach, and of course all the work he did prior to coming to Danbury, only stayed a year as the head man, so they've got a new head coach there, and it's a new day in Danbury again. After it looked like the Hatters had picked up a whole bunch of steam, now they regroup all over again.
Yeah, they had a shot at States last year too.
Did.
They were doing, and they beat Staples last year, so this becomes a grudge match, but. It's got to be tough on the kids though, with so much change the last couple of years, but they came through last year, and they've got again. They're going to have to contend with an angry Staples team.
That's right.
Staples is not used to having to pack it in before the postseason, and last year I'm sure was disappointing for them.
I'm almost inclined to call this next game the Chris Irway Bowl. I'll tell you why. Brian McMahon, of course, is where my broadcast partner went to high school and was a scholar athlete there. Darn good one. He still holds a lot of bitterness, and there's all that. That being said, he also has a connection to the Wilton Warriors head football coach, Bruce Cunningham, so it's kind of the Irway Bowl there. But that being said, it's McMahon and Wilton at Wilton. McMahon, a lot of losses to graduation. Coming off a year in which they are literally a defensive stop away from changing the entire FCIAC scene last year and playing in the championship game. All those losses, Wilton's still trying to figure it all out. It seems to be two teams going in maybe the same direction.
I really like what Coach Albano's done over there at McMahon. I think they have the edge in this one, and I just think he's built a good program there. Even some of their losses over the last few years have been very, very narrow losses. They've played with New Canaan on a couple of occasions. They've played with everybody. They've come up short in a lot of those big games, but they've put together a good record and a good program, and it seems to be consistent. So even with the losses, I have to feel that they'll be able to do something with that. So I'd have to give them the edge there. Wilton, I put them in the same spot as a Norwalk or a Ward. It's hard to know what to expect from them from year to year. They usually have some very good athletes out there, and on a given night, they may be able to burn somebody. And, so see if they can put it all together.
Yeah, they have not had that big year since Tom Fujitani stepped down, and boy, that's roughly a decade now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while. So all these games, by the way, are 7 o'clock starts. Greenwich and Trinity Catholic is a 4 o'clock start. Darien and Stanford 6:30. So those games will get underway early. The rest of these are 7 o'clock starts. Let's move to the Kovach Bowl now. Of course, John Kovach is part of our family and assistant coach at Fairfield Ludlow. But first and foremost, and I won't bother to get everybody around me to sing, John Kovach celebrating his birthday this weekend. So happy birthday to JK. That being said, the Falcons take on the Trumbull Eagles. Yes, it's an all-bird game. That aside, Trumbull has these great years.
Yes.
Trumbull has these other years when they're hovering. And Ludlow under Vinny Camaras feels like they've been building and building. Is this the year? You know, for Ludlow, it'd be a heck of a start to their year to knock off the Eagles.
Yes, and they had a big win that they thought last year at the beginning of the year with Ridgefield. You know, they hadn't beaten Ridgefield in a long time, and Ludlow beat them. So this is kind of a similar situation. Trumbull's a tough nut to crack, though. They're a good team. They're a deep program. Like you said, they tend to be all or nothing. It seems like they're out of it, or they're going to be contending for a playoff spot. So
and correct me,
tell a lot.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think at this point in the FCIAC, the kind of the longest tenured coaches would be Lou Marinelli, of course. Mm-hmm. Then I think it's Mars Petrosio. Then I think it's Bob Maffei.
Yes, I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, definitely have to be those three.
Yeah, I would think so. I think those are, and Lou, of course, has got everybody. This is going to be Lou's 35th year.
Yeah, he's been there a long
He's
long
been there
time.
a long. I think Mars is up to 19, and Maffei is hovering around 16. I think
it's around that. Yeah, but Lou is definitely the elder statesman of the league right now.
Absolutely true.
And you know, deservedly, he's gotten a lot of accolades. He always says it's because of his age and how long he's been around. That's the only reason he's getting the awards. But that's not true. He's being a little bit modest there, I think. He's done a hell of a job.
He really has. Last FCIAC game to take note of. By the way, New Canaan has arrived. They were making their way into their locker room. And the question, of course, let's resolve the biggest question of all, which of the 37 uniform combinations will they use tonight?
Yes.
But I can spy them right down there on the walkway.
I've heard that the black uniforms with the reflective numbers have not been used since that night against Staples.
Oh, my gosh.
I could be wrong on that, but I've heard that they've been in storage and, you know, they have not seen the light of day. You know, maybe they'll come out at a special time this year, whenever that'll be.
Last game for us to take note of is Central and Bassick, and the Lions having moved to the CSC. But Central wants to keep those games, which is why they have opted out of consideration for the FCIAC Championship, which is the only thing you can do because you can't play in the FCIAC Championship game and play an extra game. They wanted to hold on to playing both Bassick, of course, and Warren Harding, so they've kept those Bridgeport rivalries, but that means they have forfeited any opportunity to play in the championship.
You know, I can kind of see that one both ways. You know, you hate to tell the kids, okay, well, you're not going to be playing in the championship game,
right?
You know, as if there's a reason we can't make it. But obviously, in the city of Bridgeport, those are huge games. Those are huge games for those kids. Those are huge games for Bassick and Harding. You know, it's the city rivalries, and sometimes we lose sight of it. When we look at the big picture, we're losing sight of the little picture like that, and that's always, you know, those are always good games.
How do you see the FCIAC coming into this year? Where give me a thumbnail.
It's been an eventful off season. We'll put it that way. You know, the FCIAC teams, they do have a tendency to beat each other up. There are a lot of good teams out there. There's a lot of consistency and a lot of good programs. I still say, you know, until somebody knocks one of them off, it's got to be New Canaan, Darien. You know, two teams that met last year's final, met in the state championships of last 2 years. And, you know, until somebody knocks one of them off or at least gives them a game, I can't say you can really throw somebody else above them at this point. That being said, you got to watch out for Staples. You got to watch out for Greenwich. And, you know, St. Joe's, I don't know too much about them. They've kind of got the bum deal this week because they're going to have 2 weeks off. Where most of the FCIAC teams missed their first week and had an extra week of preseason, which has got to be eaten at them. They must be just dying.
Yeah, we talked to them, of course, on the FCIAC tour, and they're chomping at the bit to get going.
Yeah, I can't imagine that this is a good thing for them and you know, sitting around for so long. They just going up the wall, I would think.
I would think so, too. Last thing, you've been around the FCIAC a long time, as have I. I know anybody that watches, any of the naysayers that watch from outside of the conference or even in the conference hear us say this, they're going to say we're drinking the Kool-Aid. And I'm not going to speak for you, I'll speak for myself. I am absolutely off the charts happy that they're keeping the FCIAC championship. I love it. You know what? Maybe they should turn the gold 50-yard markers here for the 50th anniversary of the FCIAC championship game. I just think it's great that they're going to do it. I get what the naysayers are saying, but to me there's something about tradition, and that's a big piece of what high school football is.
After 49 years, when you've got your 50th anniversary coming up, you at least want to get that game in there, and then perhaps things change down the line in the future, and we'll see what's going to happen. But all the changes weren't necessitated by the CIAC rules,
right?
Which, whether you agree with them or you don't, they are the rules now, and you've got to abide by them. And that's I think the big thing was to get that 50th game in here, then maybe revisit it for next season and see what's going on. But I think it would have been a shame to end it at 49.
I totally agree, especially after that game last year. Boy, that was one of the all-timers. All that being said, before we take a break, I respect what the CIAC is doing, looking out for player safety, but I also wish that we haven't lost some of these interesting matchups. And I believe it was A.J. Simonowski talking about it with me before the game. That idea that you could see Greenwich West Haven, you could see New Canaan Xavier, these kind of strange matchups that you wouldn't normally get to see. The out-of-conference game, we were looking at the pictures dedicated to the late Steve Lancaster, who this building and this field are named after. The field itself, the old field, was dedicated to his memory. He passed away of leukemia in 1971. They named the field after him in 1973. And there he is playing for Ridgefield against Yorktown Heights, New York. Now, we still have horror stories about Yorktown Heights as a group, but that's kind of fun.
That was a fun series. That SEC FCIAC challenge was just unbelievable. And New Canaan playing Daniel Hand a couple of years in a row. And I know the first one wasn't that much of a game, but that was a rivalry. They've seen each other a few times in the state championship game. But the game last year was a great game, and that to me that actually is a bigger loss than that 10th game really.
I agree.
Because those are games you practice for. Those are games you work out for. That's games you play all your life for, and they were a lot of fun.
They were. Daniel Hand, Madison, and New Canaan last year, which is how Chris and I actually opened the season on the HAN network last year on the roof up at the Surf Club, was just a really fun football game, a beautiful setting, and it was different. It wasn't, it wasn't New Canaan pummeling Harding. It was a different kind of competition. It was really fun.
Well, that's what I always felt like the state tournaments in every sport. When you play somebody you don't really know, or you don't get to see you all the time, or you see once a year or once in a while, it's got an exotic feel to it, and it's fun. You get we were talking the other day about road trips. How it's got to be fun to go on a road trip, and it's just I think they're good things. I think they're good matchups, and I think they were healthy for high school sports in Connecticut.
The time, 5:17. Why do I bring that up? We are 1 hour and 43 minutes away from kickoff. Ridgefield, New Canaan, the Rams, the Tigers. It's coming up right here in an hour and 43 minutes, but we still have more to do here on FCIAC Game Day. Dave and I will come back with more as we continue from Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. Right after this, your FCIAC Game Day rolls on the HAN network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the dock shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The dock shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Welcome back to FCIAC Game Day, live from Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams. We're joined now by my broadcast partner of a long time. Chris Irway will join me for the call tonight as we have the play-by-play of New Canaan and Ridgefield at 7 o'clock. And I flash back, first of all, to 2006, the first time you darkened my WGCH studio.
Yeah, I think 2006 in WGCH was my first
you were an intern.
experience. I was an intern. I was interning with Tony Savino in the newsroom up at like 3 a.m. and getting there and then heading over to Weburn Country Club in Darien and pulling two loops and then getting home at 8 o'clock at night. So it was a long summer.
I'll tell you this. This is a true story, folks. This is how Chris and I hit it off. I come in to sub for Tony as the news anchor one morning.
That's correct.
And Chris was doing sports. This is a true story. He came in to do sports, and Tony's a great guy. We love Tony. I've gone on the air with Tony for a long time. Chris comes in, he does sports for me, finishes the sports segment, and instead of me saying, hey, thanks, Chris, and just go back and run a commercial, I say to him, you want to stay on the air and talk for a minute? And all of a sudden, you and I just hit it right off.
That was it. That's all I needed was that little push, and I was hooked from then on.
Yeah, and then eventually you rejoined. You went back and finished college at Rhode Island.
I did.
Rejoined through a mutual friend, came back and joined me in the booth, I think 2009.
2008 to 2009 was my first full year.
Yeah, and we've been pretty consistent ever since. So we've got the call tonight, and Dave's with us here, of course, as well. And let's spend one moment on an off-football topic, Dave. Let's go over to the ice and talk about some hockey.
Yeah, big news up in Canada, big news in New Canaan. Max Pacioretty named the 29th captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Great for him. It's the third U.S.-born player to be named the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, Max has had an incredible career right now, coming back from an injury, but he should be ready for the beginning of the season. That's a big deal. I mean, hockey obviously is big in New Canaan and around this region. So, it's great to see him doing so well.
Yeah, he has done very well for himself. So congratulations to Max Pacioretty, and now you got to pull the strings and get the captain on Nutmeg Sports.
There we go. We got to get him on it. And another nice thing about that makes it a big honor is he's not appointed. He's voted on by the players. So his teammates have chosen to make him the captain and see him as the leader. And I think that's great.
All right, no pressure on you, but if I can text Cam Atkinson of the Columbus Blue Jackets and get him on Nutmeg Sports at the snap of a finger, you can work your magic with Mr. Pacioretty.
We'll see if we get Pacioretty on. Maybe we can get Kurt Casale on.
I was going to say that too.
He's the season's coming to an end pretty soon. Hopefully he'll get a few more chances to play. He's
Absolutely.
Recovering from a knee injury, but he seems to be working his way back at this point.
Let's spend a moment on tonight's game, guys. New Canaan and Ridgefield coming here, of course. New Canaan, the two-time defending state champs. FCIAC runner-up, of course, in one of the more epic football games, not only in the FCIAC championship history, but in my history, maybe your history as well, as good a football game as I've ever watched between Darien and New Canaan last Thanksgiving Day at Boyle Stadium. So, of course, they come in with not a lot of losses to graduation. Yes, the injury of Cass Knox is a big deal, but They come in as a pretty heavy favorite tonight against this Ridgefield Tiger team. Dave, I'll start with you.
I think so. I think so. Their offense is going to be the key. Is the key to their fortunes this year, because when you've got a quarterback as good as Michael Collins and as strong as Michael Collins, and he's throwing the guys like Kyle Smith, who's been is an acrobat out there, has made some fantastic catches the last few years, and Peter Swindell is supposed to be a solid wide receiver. He's known as being the kicker who almost broke YouTube a couple of years ago, but he is he's going to be a wide receiver. They also have a guy by the name of Tommy Root, whose brother Michael is a past linebacker on the team and captain. And he's supposed to be a starter this year, so he's got some good weapons to throw to. And they've got a good offensive line, led by Lucas Nang, and who's just a huge figure out there. And I think their offense is going to be really good. The defense, we're going to talk to Chris Sylvestri a little bit later, but he's got a lot of shoes to fill, big shoes to fill, especially Zach Allen, who I'm sure has big shoes.
On the other side, Chris, for you, can you get a sense what Ridgefield has to do?
A lot. They really have to do a lot. Coming off a really disappointing year, two wins. They lost their starting quarterback in Ryan Dunn. They're going to be working in a new quarterback. A much smaller team than New Canaan. Less players overall. Doesn't mean they don't have talent.
Right.
They are talented. Unfortunate injury for Turek, their starting running back, who's got out for the entire year.
Right.
But they've got guys that can step up. They've got some depth there. Along the offensive line is I think where this game will be won or lost. Can they stop this defensive line of New Canaan and give the new quarterback Fowler a little bit of time to throw the football? They've got to get it down the field, because New Canaan, they're going to go up and down the field very, very quickly. The easiest way to look at New Canaan is I kind of look at them and think of Oregon in college football, especially with all the different designs they have for their uniforms, the chrome helmets, which some people like, some people don't like, all the new stuff there. But they are lightning fast, and a lot of the times, especially in high school football, you don't need to have an outstanding defense to win. You can just score a ton of points and get the job done that way.
By the way, the last we heard, 28-20, Greenwich now up 8 on Trinity Catholic, so that game's still going on. And then Darien and Stanford opening up at 6:30 before the rest of the slate gets going here at 7. While you still have the microphone, anybody kind of jumping out at you, or do you think it's the Big Four this year?
I love parity. I love that there could be something different, but the Big Four are appealing. They really are. I'm interested to see just how the season plays out. You come into a year, and a lot of years past, it's just been kind of the same old thing. New Canaan and Darien and back and forth. And I feel like New Canaan only loses to Darien and only loses to them in the one game under the one that matters the most. So if they lose the FCIAC, they always come back and win the state title. So to me, I would love to see someone jump in there. McMahon almost did it last year. This year they're basically rebuilding from the ground up, but AJ Albano gives no excuses. So we'll see how they replace a bunch of different people. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, I really think that the Big Four have it out for the rest of the league this year.
Trinity Catholic could hang. I'm getting that sense. I've been thinking it all along, and the way they've performed today against Greenwich, right as I said, an 8-point deficit. Greenwich got up big early, Dave, but they're hanging around.
Yeah, I got to wonder what's going to happen in the second half, because Trinity is a smaller school, and Greenwich obviously has numbers. So you got to wonder if they'll wear them down. That's what New Canaan's done to Trinity over the year. Trinity has hung with New Canaan a few times and then kind of wore them down in the second half. But that being said, Trinity does have talent here this year. They're well coached, and hey, they're hanging with Greenwich so far.
All right.
So far, so good, as they say.
Gentlemen, we will see you in a little bit. I'll see you for the broadcast in not too long from now. We will take a timeout as we continue here from Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. We've got a couple of special guests coming up right after this as your FCIAC Game Day continues on the HAN Network.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
When you experience Avenue in Norwalk.
Fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Remind you and easy buying a car really is.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
A couple of weeks ago, we finished interviewing roughly 400 athletes, students, administrators, and about 193 groups all together as we come back here to Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow. Why do I say that? These are some of the guys we talked to right here. Members of the Ridgefield Tigers, their head coach is Joe Arcerian. Coach, I will start with you, and then we'll introduce your player in a moment. How's your emotions coming into tonight?
Well, a little nervous being week one. You know, that's to be expected. And again, when you're playing a team like New Canaan, it jacks things up a bit because, you know, the history that they have and the program that they always bring. But it's also a good bit excited because we've been working hard for a long time, and I think we're pretty ready for this.
How do you kind of determine that the group is ready? How do you sense that?
Just to feel the kids from practice, especially this past week. Once it finally became game week, you could see a little bit more focus in their eyes, and tempo of things kind of picked up a little bit. So we're feeling good.
And the thing, of course, is you're not exactly new to the program. You're not exactly new to the FCIAC. You know a thing or two about all this, so you know what to expect.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been coaching at Ridgefield now. This is my 8th year here, and so it's just a couple more things on my plate. But yeah, nothing overall that's too much that I can't handle.
You've brought big number 17 with you. Who's that sitting over there?
This is Dante Cabelli. He's one of our captains and a linebacker for us.
Dante, simple question. You ready to go tonight?
Been ready since the winter. Definitely.
It's been a long off season for everyone, and it's been a long time since the FCIAC has played in general. You know, we're talking last Thanksgiving with the championship game, and of course you guys involved as well. You guys had a game that day, but you know, that many months between games, and the rest of the state is playing, the rest of the country is playing. How do you kind of keep your emotions in check to, you know, stay focused on game number one?
You know, this year from about 2 weeks after the last game, us captains, us seniors, we really laid the law down with the team. We made sure everyone's going to lifting. We made sure everyone's going to morning running, training. You know, we set the bar very high this year because, you know, last year, you know, back to the training in the winter, all of that. So we set the bar very high for ourselves, always keeping our eye on week one, and you know, doing our best out there.
There's a great legacy of football here. You both know this.
It's the first.
How do you shut New Canaan? Obviously, we know Michael Collins is so good. We know signal caller.
And
how do you make sure?
Time, and we've worked the different situations and things like that. So I know right now that mistake does come up. He knows to have a short memory.
Regards to after this season, you know, I don't have any plans in college, so I'm gonna leave everything I got for this season, and same with all my teammates.
He's so wonderfully well-spoken. He's got a future in joining us in the broadcast booth, so that'd be fine as well. Are you able to pause and kind of say to yourself, enjoy every moment in this last season? It's your senior year. You've got to enjoy it while it's here.
Absolutely. You know, all the seniors that have graduated in the past have come up to me. They said, you know what, win or lose, it's the best. It's the best sport. Nothing's better than high school football. And this is coming from people who've played in the NFL, playing in college. Our old coach played in the NFL. He said nothing's better than college, high school football. So, you know, I'm trying to enjoy as much of it as I can. You know, really looking forward to the game today. Keeping my eye to the future.
I wish you luck, and Coach, I wish you a lot of luck. Good luck this year. We're excited for you. Hopefully a big year for you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.
Great to see these guys. Joe Arcieri, the head coach here, as well as Dante Cabelli, the linebacker. We will see them both later on tonight, 7 o'clock kickoff. They sound ready to go. Can they stop the guys in the multicolored jerseys? We'll find out in a little bit. FCIAC Game Day continues right after this on the HAN Network.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your original 3-minute horror movie today. Visit fastfrights.com for more details.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2, and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Highcote Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Kycut's stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art by Picasso and Warhol to expertly tended gardens, there's something for everyone. Kycut Rockefeller Estates, a national trust for historic preservation landmark.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Welcome back to FCIAC Game Day. I'm Rob Adams, Dave Stewart, Chris Irway. Our entire crew will rejoin me in a little bit. Well, maybe not in our entire crew, and we get a little crowded as we've got plenty of HAN Network people here tonight. Don't forget, we've got some T-shirts on hand here at Lancaster Field at Tiger Hollow, so certainly come and help yourself before they are all gone. So they are here on the table, and folks will be happy to hand them out to you. Now, we've got a couple of interviews queued up for you from our tour that we did of the FCIAC. Before we get to that, I've got a tweet here from our buddy Sean Patrick Boley, who says, for those of you scoring at home, that was 49 combined points for Greenwich and Trinity Catholic in the second quarter. 49. Greenwich up 35-20 at the half. That was a few minutes ago. 49 points in a high school football game. That's a lot of high school football being scored right there. So, all that being said, let's get to a couple of our interviews. Of course, back just a few weeks ago, we were here, and we were at New Canaan as well. Some busy days of talking to a lot of high school football students, and we spoke to the captains of both New Canaan and Ridgefield. Let's watch right now as we talk to the Tigers first.
This HAN Network video is brought to you by Carl Chevrolet.
They have a very high standard of football here at Ridgefield High School, and the Tigers have big expectations coming into the 2015 season with Tim Murphy. I'm Rob Adams. Let's let the team introduce themselves.
Joe Arcieri.
Leo Grazaffi.
Dante Cobelli.
Jackson Turek.
AJ Fabry.
Coach, your thoughts as you get ready for taking over the top dog here at Ridgefield?
It's a great opportunity that I'm looking forward to. I've been with the program for 9 years now after graduating from Ridgefield. So to be able to be in this position is just something I've looked forward to for a really long time, and trying to do the best I can for the kids.
Leo, as I mentioned at the top, high standards here at Ridgefield, and I would imagine big expectations this year.
Yeah, I mean, our coaches this year set a really high standard on us. From last year, we've just been trying to follow the standard all the time and just keep working hard and, just try to come up with the best product on the field this year. So,
Murph, over to you.
Jackson, you can't see it, but he has a broken foot and sidelined for the season, a tough blow. How are you going to make that into a positive for the team? Are you going to be an extra strong leader?
Yeah, despite the fact that I'm injured and I won't be able to play, I'm still going to be with the team and still going to be contributing as much as I can to our success, no matter if that's leading or doing all the small things to make everyone else better.
And Dante is one of the captains. What is your goal for the season?
Every season we set the same goal to make the FCIAC championship and to make the state championship, and we're on a pretty good track right now. Everyone thinks football is a one-season sport, but here at Ridgefield, around the year we're doing everything we can. We're lifting, we're running, we're practicing, we're training. If we just keep those standards up, like you were talking about before, we should see good success.
AJ coming off a tough year last year, I guess extra motivation to turn things around.
Yeah, but, we understand that, the past is in the past, and we're kind of focusing on the present and, the season to come. So it has been a bit of a rallying cry this offseason in the winter, and thus far in the preseason this summer. We've been working hard because we know that, we need to be better than we were last year, but we know that, working hard doesn't equal success, and we got to, get out there on the field and prove ourselves.
And a tough opener, Rob, against New Canaan, so we'll find out some stuff right off the bat.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Murph, because we'll be here for that opener on September 18th It's right down the hill from where we're standing, and many say, and I'm among those, this is one of the finest facilities in the FCIAC, so we're excited to come out and watch these Tigers as they get going with the coach in his first game as head coach here. An exciting season coming up for these Tigers. The football team with us on the HAN Network at Ridgefield High School.
This HAN Network video is brought to you by Coastal Orthopedics.
All right, so how do we deal with this? Down the road, there's another football team. When we interviewed them, well, you see, they came up a little short in the state championship, but they won that other game played on Thanksgiving. These guys, on the other hand, go the opposite way. It's with the New Canaan football team, one of the best in the state with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams. Let's let these guys introduce themselves.
I'm Cass Knox. I play linebacker. I'm Michael Collins. Play quarterback. Gardner Reed. Play center.
Mike Cognetta, DB.
Cass, I'll start with you. Obviously, you're not going to start the season on the field. At least we don't think so. But, kind of take me through where you are. Let's just go with that.
Right now, I'm about 2 months into a torn ACL injury, and I'm just taking it day by day, just trying to get better and maybe hopefully get back on the field one day and play with these guys.
By the way, a fellow New Yorker. Let's go over to Michael now. And I thought your play was so good last year. I watched you develop as a quarterback, saw you in your first game up at the Surf Club against Daniel Hand, and tell me how you think you progressed as a quarterback.
I think obviously whole year of varsity experience really helps you out. My teammates really picked me up throughout the whole year. Alex Lopolice, Jim Keneally, Gardner, Lucas, all those guys, they all really helped me, bring me along, and just get my feet wet really in the varsity experience. And now coming into my senior year, we all feel a lot more confident coming forward. So. And
it helps to have as balanced an attack as you do a good running game as well.
Yes, it really does.
Dave.
Yeah, Gardner, I feel like a lot of times the offense, you're talking about quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, they all steal the thunder, but it really starts with the line. How do you feel you guys stack up this year?
This year we're looking pretty good. We got our star tackle, Lucas Nyang. He's great. He's putting in a lot of hard work, and we've just been doing our best to get better over the summer, going to camps and lifting weights, and we're really excited to go into this year.
How much pride do you guys take when the offense does put up good numbers?
As a line, we're really happy about strong run games, and we just do our best to protect our quarterback. We love him, and he's great.
The Cognettas, obviously, there's a big name in New Canaan football the last few years, and just how do you feel like being part of that tradition? Both New Canaan football and with your family.
I feel pretty normal, but I guess it's a big name, so it's pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. What do you foresee for this year? What's your take on this coming season?
I think we're going to be great. We've got people coming back. We're experienced, and we're tough. We got big people. We got Lucas Niang, Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of people coming back.
The Canaan tradition keeps going on and on, right?
Cass, no point in asking you guys goals. We know the goals. FCIAC State, obviously, that's been the mission for a long time. But I think I know the answer to one of the games you're looking forward to besides Ridgefield, and maybe you're going to tell me a game at a time, but I have a feeling there's another team that wears red, white, and black that you're interested in seeing down the road.
I have no idea what you're talking about. We're just excited to play Ridgefield, and really looking forward to going down there September 18th.
We got a couple of games that we will see the Rams in, one of them being against Ridgefield on September 18th, this other game down in Greenwich, and another game against that blue team down to the south of here. These guys are great, one of the great football programs in this state. It's the New Canaan Rams. We thank them for their time on the HAN Network at New Canaan High School. We're joined by the head coach of the New Canaan football team as the HAN drone drops down right next to us with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams. This is Coach Lou Marinelli. And, Coach, another year. Is it ever not exciting? It must be exciting every year.
Oh, every year. Yeah, it's a whole new cast of characters, a whole new feel, a whole new chemistry. You got to see how, what your strengths are, your weaknesses are. It really never gets old. It's great.
Michael Collins, the last couple of years, he's shown so much growth. What have you seen from him this year that gives you hope for this year?
Well, I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of maturity on his part. He's recognized the defense is better. He's making good choices. He's really worked very, very hard in the offseason, and he's not going to the University of Pennsylvania for nothing. I mean, he's really worked hard, and he's earned everything he's gotten. Just a dream to coach, and just a tremendous kid, one of our captains. You got to love him.
Coach, I can't remember a crazier off season than this past one. Is it good to just finally get on the football field and start playing again?
I thought it would never get here, and then, because of whatever the dates or the CIAC, whatever reason, we've had to wait longer than we've ever had to wait for to get back on the field. And yesterday was our first scrimmage, so it's been great getting back. So now that we're in season, it's good.
Obviously the game everybody's talking about, Johnny, playing your son Johnny at Greenwich High School. Tell me about that game and what that feeling is going to be like.
I don't know. We got a bunch of games before that. I'm more concerned about Ridgefield right now. But, everybody's kind of talking about that game on the 24th. I'd like to see us both undefeated at that point. It would make for even more of a, game for both of us. But, as far as personally, there'll be no winners that day in the Marinelli household. Win or lose. It's just, what are you going to say? But I just hope it's two good football teams, and that Marinelli thing doesn't overshadow, all those great athletes that are out there busting their rear ends trying to win for their school.
Over the years, too, the coaches you've had here, it's sad to see people go, but you told me one time that it was great. You want people like that want to move on and move up the ladder. So just how good is it to see former coaches going on and doing good things?
Oh, it's great. To have, especially, the guys that have been here and have worked so hard to help me get to where I've gotten, and then to see them go on and create their own programs. It's not easy for us to play against them, for sure. But it's great to see guys go on and doing a lot of the same things that we did here. So it's really very rewarding for me.
That's what happens when you do an interview during a football practice, too. Football comes flying in.
Comes flying into the live shot.
Probably a reminder to mention somebody.
I think that's got to be the perfect end to our interview here with Coach Marinelli. We're grateful to him. We'll see him a couple of times this season on the HAN Network. We thank him for his time. The great coach Lou Marinelli, coach of the Rams on the HAN Network right here at New Canaan High School.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Game Day. I'm Dave Stewart. I'm here with New Canaan coach, FCIAC Defensive Coordinator of the Year, Chris Sylvestri, and senior linebacker of the New Canaan Rams, David Strupp. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Well. All ready to go?
Yeah. Yes, very much so.
I got a question for David right off the bat, and it has to do with this preseason. Been a little bit longer than usual. Had an extra weight here. How tough is that? How tough has that been for you guys?
It's been a long time coming. There's been a lot of hot days, a lot of work. We haven't skipped any days, and so we've been practicing for a long, long time. But I think we're coming together as a team really well. And our especially our defense. We don't have any superstars like Zach Allen or anything like that. But we're kind of coming together as a team, especially these last few weeks. And I think we have the opportunity to impress a lot of people tonight.
Chris, we were talking about this. We've talked about this before. Everybody talks about the offense on New Canaan and, the quarterback, the wide receivers, the running backs. Defense kind of gets overlooked here. You guys have a lot of big shoes to fill. Just, tell me about what the team looks like so far.
Yeah, well, rightfully so people talk about our offense. It's explosive. We've got some really good players on that side of the ball. Their up-tempo speed in practice helps us practice as a defensive unit. We're in shape. We fly to the ball. It forces us to do that. But, every year we have shoes to fill. And that's what's great. I've been at New Canaan here for 15 years. Every year it seems like the same thing. Zach Allen's, the La Polices, the Teddy Dumbalds, they had the step-in shoes of the DeCosmos and Michael Root, Cole Harris, and it goes on and on. So, we've kind of built a culture, I like to think, that it's the next man up. Every year is the seniors' year to kind of sit up and step up and shine. And David's a testament to that. He was a returning veteran, and, the leadership that he brings and how we play, it feeds on each other at practice.
Where do you think that comes from? Because I've noticed the New Canaan kids, every year there's somebody, like you said, ready to step up, willing to step up and to take the ball and go with it.
Yeah. If I was going to be honest, I think it's the fear of losing.
Okay.
Who wants to be that group that doesn't necessarily be the New Canaan team that doesn't shine? And we've been very fortunate and lucky at times to play as well as we have, and been in a lot of state championships. But that year it makes that group coming up work a little bit harder in the off season. Try to get on the same page a little bit earlier, try some new things, and just kind of mix it up a little bit and see if we can get out of our comfort zone, learn a little bit, and put some new things out there.
Who are some of the new names that you think might be standing out so far?
I really like Andrew DeFranco, David Johns. I really like our defensive line. Matt Hall, Andrew Shallon, Lucas Nang, for everything that he is on the offense, he's a beast at the defensive line. And those are some of the guys, those are some of the guys I'm looking forward to see and how they shine tonight.
David, losing a captain like Cass Knox, you're a senior leader now on the defense, so is Matt Cognetta. How much more of a bigger role are you guys going to take on because of that loss?
We've been trying to deal with a lot of Cass. He's always around. He's always, supporting the defense and still providing that sort of leadership. But we're trying to fill those roles with some returning players from last year, and even just new roles such as Will Arliss is stepping up as a captain, kind of a leader on the defense as an inside linebacker. I'm trying to help out as leader too, just kind of get the guys pumped up and ready to play, and just and having that experience last year, trying to teach them what it's going to be like this year. So we have a lot of new players that are starting to fill, taking that void that Cass has left.
Chris, what do you look for right out of the gate here?
I want to see us play with some attitude, fly to the ball, and just execute. That's what it's all about, executing. We've had a long preseason. We put in a lot of stuff. We've looked good in practice. I'm looking to see that carry over on the field tonight. I really am. Yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit earlier, too. Johnny Marinelli playing the game right now, high-scoring game right there. Keeping an eye on him a little bit?
Absolutely. I'm actually rooting like heck for him right now. It's nice to see what he can bring to another school, see them buy into it. And, he's done so much for us here at New Canaan. A little bit of a void at first, and I think we've overcome that a little bit. But I'm really rooting for him right now. I'm hoping I'm a Greenwich fan today, certainly. Yeah.
David, Darien too. Last year had a split with them. How much do you want to see them again in the final?
I want to see them again. It's always fun to play Darien. It's always a game that I get pumped up for, and I think the boys will really have a lot of fun if we see them in the finals again. It's one that we really want to win.
It's a little bit further down the road, I know, but I had to ask. So, thanks, guys. It'll be a great game tonight. Chris Sylvestri, David Strupp. We're a game day. Thank you very much.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Highcote Rockefeller Estate is Westchester County's top cultural attraction and is now open for the season. Don't miss out. Go online to hudsonvalley.org to plan your visit. Take a drive out to beautiful Sleepy Hollow, New York, and enjoy Highcote's stunning architecture, breathtaking gardens, expansive art galleries, and commanding Hudson River views. From world-class art means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics, conveniently located on Main Street, hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
One of the realities of being at a high school football game, and you could hear it in Dave's interview with the members of the New Canaan team, David Strupp and Chris Sylvestri, is they want to play the music. They got to play the music for the warm-ups. And so we've come inside our cozy little booth here with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams on FCIAC Game Day. We have a great segment lined up right now, Dave.
Yes.
And kudos to you. Kudos to Eric Gendron. This is a terrific piece that you and Eric helped put together regarding really two big losses to two programs this year.
Yeah, Cass Knox, linebacker for the New Canaan Rams, and Ridgefield Tigers, Jackson Turek, running back. both gone for the year. Jackson with a broken foot a couple of weeks ago in preseason practice, and Cass Knox suffered a torn ACL and a partially torn meniscus at a camp in Boston College during the spring. So unfortunately, I always thought it's tragic when a player loses a year of high school because it's only so long. But when you lose your senior year, it's even worse, especially when you're two captains of the team like that.
And players that have such high hopes and aspirations for the year. Cass Knox and New Canaan, of course, have very high aspirations with everything they've done over the past couple of years. And Ridgefield trying to get back to the standard off a 2-9 year. So for both those players, you can't help just really feel bad.
Yeah, and Jackson had a tremendous year running the ball for Ridgefield, so he was a big part of what they were able to do at the end of the year. And, Cass Knox, of course, has been a 2-year starter, would have been a third-year starter here, and third leading tackler on a team last year that had, some great players on it. So, they're both big losses. And, to their credit, both guys seem to be handling it pretty well. High school students are resilient. Bad things happen. They kind of just roll with the punches, and it seems to be they've got a good attitude about it.
They absolutely do. By the way, a reminder as we get toward our broadcast, the broadcast will be brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market, Carl Chevrolet, Coastal Orthopedics, and Pamby Motors, and it really is coming up in just a matter of minutes, but we continue to build things up. In fact, the countdown clock is on to 48.5 minutes to kick off here at Tiger Hollow. But Eric Gendron and Dave Stewart put a great piece together. Want you to see it right now, so sit back and enjoy this conversation with both Jackson Turek and Cass Knox right here on FCIAC Game Day.
Two teams, two captains. Neither one will be on the field on opening night. For Cass Knox of New Canaan and Jackson Turek of Ridgefield, their senior seasons were over before they began. Now they look forward to helping their teams in a new way.
Just got to start with the injury. Unfortunately, during the spring camp at Boston College football camp, tell me about the injury. What happened? And it's torn ACL, partially torn meniscus. And tell me what happened.
My constantly the ball in the backfield. I juked out one guy and then tried to juke out another guy. And as I landed on my right leg or my right foot, I got pushed and started snapping a crack, and that was it.
Oh boy! Did you realize the severity of it right off the bat?
When you hear a snap and a crack in your knee, you know it can't be good, but you're trying to tell yourself that it was anything but the ACL. Maybe it was just a PCL or something like that, something not as bad as it. But I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was that bad.
Thing to happen, obviously. Tell me about the moment that it happened and what was running through your head.
Well, the moment it happened, it was just, like a wave of pain, and I didn't really know the severity of it until I couldn't, walk on it. I had to have Big, carried off the field. And then when Scott drove me up to the top to call my mom, x-rays and stuff, that was when I knew something was wrong, because it was just the most pain I've ever felt in my entire life. It's excruciating. I couldn't escape it. That was the problem. I was looking for ways to just get out of it. I just couldn't.
Tell me what your mindset's been the last few weeks and how you've stayed active with the team or involved with the team.
Well, the first week after getting injured, it was really tough. It was just the reality of everything, never playing again. It was a shock. But as time progressed, I was able to cope with the situation and try to use it as a benefit to motivate my teammates to be humble and a better leader for them. But other than that, I've just been going to practice, trying to keep my head in the game. Try to be there for them, everything that I can do,
Have you been helping with coaching or pointing out things like that?
I've been helping with the running backs, just giving them some tips and everything. No official coaching slate for me.
When did you find out for sure?
5 days later, because I had to spend a night at Boston College because it was a 3-day camp, 4-night camp or 2-night camp, and so I slept there with a torn ACL, and then took a bus back home, and then Lou got me the first MRI possible, and so 5 days after the injury, found out that it was a torn ACL and partially torn meniscus.
I can't imagine the frustration. You've been a 2-year starter, I think third leading tackler last year on the team at linebacker, and just how have you dealt with the frustration over the summer and especially heading into the fall?
I've been playing football since I can remember, but the first couple of weeks when I was just laying in bed, it was rough, but once word of my injury got out, I had former players, former coaches, current players just calling me, giving me all the support I needed. After surgery, I was just laid in bed for a week, and guys were coming in my house every day, just, keeping me up, giving me, nice words, just keeping me up and giving me batches of candy.
That always helps.
It was a lot easier because I had, such a great support cast and a lot of people helping me. But it was definitely hard, but it could have been worse.
Well, so last year you were slated to be a starting wide receiver.
Yep.
And Jimmy Turner suffered a season-ending knee injury, and you slid over to running back and led the team in rushing last year. How is that an example of the next man up for Ridgefield, for the Ridgefield Tigers, and might that happen again this year to somebody else?
Yep. Well, in our program, we always train everyone to just be ready to go. Be ready to play defense, offense, any position where you're needed to help the team. So when Jimmy went down last year, I was more than ready to just take over for him and do whatever I could do to to just be there for him, be there for the team. And this year they're doing the same thing for me. They're replacing me, and I believe in them. They're going to be good, and they're going to do whatever they can to make the team better.
I talked to Coach Marinelli, and I saw you the other day at the scrimmage with the headphones on, kind of working with the team. And just how have you been staying active with the team and staying, basically involved in practices and things?
Well, the coaches knew just to give me stuff to do so I can stay involved with the team, because staying involved with the team helps me, feel like I'm still a part of the team, feel like I'm still contributing to the team, and keeps me up and happy. So I've been signaling the plays for the offense, and I've never been a big offensive guy, but I'm signaling the plays for the offense, which is pretty cool. If the linebackers need any help, they know they can come to me. I've been watching film and telling the linebackers, what they can be doing. I've been following them around all practice, and just any little jobs I'm there to do, because it helps me as much as it helps the team, because it helps me feel involved with the team.
Well, what do you see your role as this week? What are you going to be doing during the Ridgefield game?
During the actual game,
yeah,
I'm going to be signaling the plays for the offense, and when the defense comes off the field, I'll tell the inside linebackers what I see, and if they have any questions, they can ask me, and so that's what I'll be doing, and keep just helping guys get motivated, and it'll be fun.
Is it fun doing that in an offense, especially an offense like New Canaan? It's got to be a blast.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, and especially with the coaches we've got. Being on the headset, it's definitely fun. And the only bad part of it is when we get an 80-yard pass. Running isn't my best right now with my knees, so that's the only hard part, is running down the field to call on the next play, but it's a lot of fun.
Got to keep up with the player.
Yeah.
Tell me about getting around on the scooter here.
Yeah.
You've got a new mode of transportation.
Well, I can't put any weight on my foot, even with crutches. The pressure is messing with my healing process, so I have this scooter. You put one knee up, gets you around pretty mobily, actually. Easy to get around school and stuff, so it's helping me get around, helping me stay on things.
What's going to be what do you think is going to be going through your head and through Cass Knox's head too when he's on the field when the game starts on Friday night?
I think we're both going to be in the same spot, same boat. I'm sure he, as well as I, would wish we could play. Anything I would do to play, I would do anything. But it is what it is, and I'm sure me and him are both going to be there for our teams, keep our heads up, encourage players, and just do whatever we can to make the team ready to go.
What do you think he's going to be thinking at game time?
He'll probably be a little depressed, a little sad that he's not out there with them, but I'm sure he'll want his team to do just as well as if he were on the field, and he'll be motivating his team just like I will, and it'll be good.
Still part of the team, obviously. What's the future hold for Cass Knox here? What's your goal?
I'm definitely trying to play football again, whether it's in high school or in PG or college. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, though. I'm just taking it day to day and seeing what I can do with college and PG. And Coach Marinelli will be a big part in that.
What's the future hold for Jackson Turek here? Are you looking at colleges? Or?
Yeah, I'm looking at colleges. Kept the grades up, so that's positive. Maybe playing rugby in college.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
you're going to be playing rugby in the spring too. I mean, everything should be healed up by then, I would think. Looking forward to that.
it, yeah. A lot of anger and aggression to let out this season.
This
Ready
is
to go.
true.
I have to be honest with you. I'm ready for football.
Been ready for football since last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it comes back around to that. The CIAC, and look, I love the CIAC, okay, but they also do get themselves in the line of criticism because not only have they never adapted to the idea of moving games back, you know, at least a little more in line with some of the other states around here, but they seem to keep backing things up to the point that, to my knowledge, Dave, I think these are the last games, the last league to start in the country.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Connecticut was after most other states anyway to begin with, and now in terms of the FCIAC, you're talking about it even a week later than everybody else on top of it. So these kids have just got to be going up the walls, ready to get out there.
And they are out there, and they are going through practices right now. New Canaan down to our right in that kind of lighter gray, I don't know, pewter if you want to describe it as such, with the red numbers and the camouflage in the numbers and the red helmets with that silver interlocking NC on each side, and Ridgefield down to our left, resplendent in the traditional black, orange, and white. I have to admit, style-wise, I've always admired Ridgefield's uniforms.
It's nice. It's simple. It's straight to the point, as they say. With these uniforms with New Canaan, I'm not as big on the camouflage, but I do like the look better than some of the other things that I've seen. My favorite for them is the white jersey with red numbers, red pants. Looks great. A lot of times they wear that on homecoming, so I'm hoping we'll see that next week because their homecoming is actually their second game of the year, their first home game, which is amazing.
That's right. So game time's going to be here before we know it, but we will wrap up FCIAC Game Day, which wraps up all of our pregame coverage. Chris Irway and I have the call for you at 7 o'clock. Those guys on the field. Ridgefield to the left, New Canaan to the right. Dave, great stuff. Enjoy the game.
It was fun. It was fun, Rob, and should be a good one.
Our next FCIAC Tailgate and FCIAC Game Day will come your way a week from tomorrow at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich as the Darien Blue Wave come to take on the Greenwich Cardinals. Last check, the Cardinals still had the lead on Trinity Catholic, so we will see if those teams both go in undefeated, but we'll find out by the end of tonight. Chris and I with the call at 7 o'clock. Thanks to everybody on the crew for a great job for both Tailgate and Game Day. For our entire crew, Dave Stewart, Chris Irway, thanks to Kate Chaplinsky, Eric Gendron, AJ Simonowski, Tim Murphy as well, the entire team. I'm Rob Adams. Buckle up, football at 7. You've been watching FCIAC Game Day right here on the HAN Network.